Why life's hard times make you stronger. Hardship strips away the illusion of control, the layers of identity we build around who we think we are. It compels us to step into the raw truth of the present moment. And though this can feel uncomfortable, even unbearable, it is also profoundly transformative. Within that discomfort lies a quiet strength, a reservoir of resilience that cannot be touched by external circumstances. When life becomes challenging, our initial reaction is often resistance. We label these experiences as bad or unfair, believing they derail us from the happiness or stability we think we should have. But what if these moments, rather than being obstacles, are actually profound opportunities for growth and transformation? The human experience is marked by cycles of ease and hardship, just as nature oscillates between seasons of abundance and dormancy. Hard times are not exceptions to life's flow, they are integral to it. They serve a purpose far beyond what the mind can initially comprehend. In adversity, the outer structures of our life, whether relationships, careers, or even aspects of our identity, may crumble. It feels unsettling because we often derive our sense of self from these structures. But the collapse of the familiar makes space for something deeper to emerge, the realization of our inner strength and resilience. Transformation begins when we shift our perspective. Instead of seeing difficulties as barriers, we can view them as doorways. Hard times demand that we let go of what no longer serves us, whether it's an old belief, a fear, or a dependency. This letting go can feel like loss, but it's actually liberation. It strips away the layers of illusion that keep us tied to the superficial, guiding us toward a truer understanding of ourselves and the world. Adversity forces us to confront aspects of life we might prefer to avoid. In doing so, it illuminates the areas where we are most resistant to change. For example, a financial setback might challenge your sense of security, or a relationship ending could shake your sense of worth. These experiences compel you to ask deeper questions. Who am I when my circumstances change? Where does my value come from? In seeking the answers, you discover that your strength does not lie in external conditions, but in the unchanging essence within you. Consider the metaphor of a seed planted in the earth. For it to grow, it must first break apart, shedding its protective shell. In the same way, hardship cracks open the barriers we've built around ourselves, exposing us to the light of awareness. This breaking apart may feel painful, but it's a necessary part of growth. It's through the soil of life's challenges that the roots of resilience take hold. Transformation through hardship is not a passive process, it requires acceptance and presence. Resisting pain only deepens it, while embracing it allows us to move through it. When we stop labeling difficulties as wrong or undeserved, we begin to see their hidden purpose. Each challenge carries a lesson, an opportunity to expand our consciousness and step into a fuller version of ourselves. Hard times are not the end of the story, they are catalysts for a new beginning. When you stop fighting the storm and instead stand still in its center, you realize that the winds, though fierce, are clearing a path for something greater. In this way, hardship transforms not just your circumstances, but the very essence of who you are. Life's challenges often drag us into a state of resistance, where we long for an easier past or desperately hope for a better future. We see the present moment, especially when it is filled with pain or difficulty, as something to escape from. Yet, this avoidance only magnifies our suffering. True inner strength does not come from evading life's hardships, but from embracing them fully, as they are, in the here and now. The present moment, no matter how challenging, holds immense transformative power. When we stop fighting what is and instead surrender to it, we tap into a deeper part of ourselves, a place of stillness and strength. This does not mean passively resigning to circumstances, but rather choosing to face reality without judgment or resistance. In doing so, we create space for clarity, courage, and resilience to arise naturally. Pain often feels unbearable because of the stories we attach to it. When a difficult situation arises, the mind begins to spin narratives: this shouldn't be happening, I can't handle this, or my life is falling apart. These thoughts compound the discomfort, pulling us further away from the present and into an imagined past or future. However, when we bring our attention fully to the now, stripping away those stories, we realize that we can endure more than we believed. The present moment, though it may be uncomfortable, is rarely as overwhelming as the mind makes it out to be. Embracing the present moment means accepting it as it is, without wishing it to be different. This acceptance is not passive but deeply empowering. It allows us to shift our focus from what we cannot control, the external situation, to what we can control, our response. In this shift lies the essence of inner strength. When we are no longer consumed by resistance, we can act with greater wisdom and intentionality, even in the face of difficulty. Consider the analogy of a tree in a storm. The wind does not destroy the tree that remains rooted and flexible. It is the tree that resists the wind, refusing to bend, that breaks. Similarly, when we remain rooted in the present moment and allow ourselves to flow with life's challenges, we discover a strength that is both grounded and adaptable. The present moment also connects us to the deeper part of ourselves that is beyond the surface-level identities we often cling to. These identities, our roles, achievements, and possessions, can feel threatened in times of hardship. But when we anchor ourselves in the now, we access the part of us that remains unshaken by life's turbulence. This is the essence of inner strength, a quiet, unyielding presence that cannot be diminished by external circumstances. Ultimately, every challenging moment is an invitation to awaken. It asks us to step out of the noise of the mind and into the stillness of the present. From this place of presence, inner strength naturally arises, not as a force we must create, but as an inherent quality that reveals itself when we stop resisting life and start embracing it, moment by moment. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but its role goes far deeper than the discomfort it brings. It serves as a profound agent of transformation, dissolving the ego and revealing the deeper truth of who you are. While the ego thrives on control, identity, and attachment to the external, pain disrupts these illusions, inviting you to discover a resilience and essence that transcends circumstance. The ego, that voice in your mind constantly narrating your life, is deeply invested in maintaining a sense of separateness and superiority. It defines itself by what it has: possessions, status, relationships, and by what it fears losing. Pain, however, strikes directly at these attachments, creating cracks in the ego's carefully constructed walls. In those cracks, light enters. What initially feels like loss is, in truth, the beginning of liberation. When faced with pain, the ego's immediate response is resistance. It tells stories: why me? This is unfair. I need to escape this. These narratives amplify suffering by keeping us locked in identification with the mind and its relentless need to control. But pain has a unique way of disrupting this identification. It can bring you to the edge of your endurance, to a place where the ego's grip loosens. In that moment of surrender, when you stop fighting the pain and simply allow it to be, you glimpse a deeper part of yourself. This deeper self, your true essence, is not defined by external circumstances. It is the unchanging presence beneath the fluctuations of life, the quiet awareness that remains even when everything else falls away. Pain, paradoxically, reveals this essence by stripping you of the distractions and attachments that keep you from recognizing it. Consider the process of breaking through a shell. A seed must crack open for a plant to grow. Similarly, pain breaks the shell of the ego, exposing the limitless potential within you. This is why those who have endured great suffering often emerge with a profound sense of inner strength and compassion. They have been to the depths of their being and discovered that their true nature is far more expansive and enduring than they ever imagined. Pain also humbles the ego, dissolving its need to control and dominate. When the ego's illusions are stripped away, what remains is not weakness but resilience, a quiet, steady strength that does not depend on external validation. This strength is your birthright. It is always present, waiting to be uncovered. Pain simply accelerates the process of rediscovering it. By dissolving the ego, pain also opens the door to greater empathy and connection. When you have faced your own suffering, you become more attuned to the suffering of others. The walls of separation that the ego builds begin to fall, replaced by a sense of shared humanity. Thus, pain is not an enemy but a profound teacher. It shows you the limits of the ego and guides you to the boundless truth of who you are. In embracing it, you awaken to a resilience and essence that nothing in the external world can shake. Pain, though often feared and avoided, holds the power to dissolve illusions and reveal the strength and depth of your true self. It strips away the transient layers of ego, uncovering the unshakable essence that has always been within you. This essence, free from attachment and resistance, is the source of your resilience, your compassion, and your ability to rise above life's challenges. Embracing pain with openness transforms it from something to escape into something that liberates. It becomes a doorway to greater awareness, connection, and inner strength. Remember, every moment of suffering carries within it the seed of awakening. By allowing it to teach you, you step into the fullness of who you truly are, a being of limitless depth and unyielding presence.